So now we're going to talk about what's probably your favorite food group. And I'm sorry, I don't make these rules. If it was up to me, the bagels would be calorie-free. But the complex carbohydrate group is an interesting category. Not everybody has to take this out of their diet. However, most people who end up here at LynnFit are metabolically challenged. They can't lose weight. They're really storing. This is an important point here. We got a big, thick midsection, muffin top, spare tire, whatever it is you see in the mirror and you don't like. If you want to get rid of that and not just shrink and lose weight, chances are you're going to have to, if not eliminate, really decrease how many of these carbs you eat. Goal is during the ultimate metabolic boost. Remember, that's what we're talking about, is really boosting your metabolism so your body starts burning all this fat off for fuel. If you happen to be feeding it these foods, it's not going to burn fat for fuel. It's thinking, you just fed me. It's like a buffet. Why would I leave if you just fed me? So what would you say if I said to you that this bagel is 6 carbohydrate serving? 1 bagel, 6 bread servings. So even if you had 1 bagel a week, the law of averages plays out all week. That's about 600 calories right there with nothing on it. The next category, like a muffin, this one has almost 750 or more calories. The number was so high I even lost track. But one of those a week could really sabotage your diet efforts all week. So if you're eating clean all week and the scale doesn't move because every Saturday you go and you have a muffin for breakfast, really these are so high in calories they could really stop your fat loss, believe it or not. I made all these mistakes. That's how I'm a good teacher. Potatoes, great, great, great food. Serving of this, half a cup. You know how big that is? Small, not even that much. And it's imperative that you know if you're feeding a family of 3 or 4, that's how this potato is really designed to feed you. So when people say eating healthy is so expensive, not if you're portion controlling, it's not. Know your numbers. I'm not saying these are bad and you shouldn't eat them. I'm just saying this is really like chemistry, a very touchy subject with fat loss. A little bit could completely stop the chemical fat burning we're trying to do. So potatoes, same thing. Really that should fit in the palm of your hand. Notice that's a little big for mine. This should really be cut in half and that's a serving. These really spike insulin levels, this food group. So all of these, when they do spike your insulin level, it actually has the fat cell open its door and it hoards and stores fat for fuel. And we want it to burn fat for fuel. So with the absence of these foods, when you exercise, you're going to go right into fat burning. Next few things that are in here, you might be like corn and peas and the complex carb. They are actually a complex carb. They're a vegetable, but this is how they burn to the body, like a piece of bread. I never take these out of people's lives, but the important point is a half a cup is a serving of peas. So if you happen to be eating that for your breakfast or whatever, for lunch, and you have a half cup, you need to really know that how much you're having, because more, that could be really calorically high and it could really stop your fat loss efforts. This is a cereal I love. I do allow people to eat 1 carb per day during the ultimate fat loss section of your fat burning program because they do keep things regular. We need to chew. They taste good. 1 per day, though, is the limit. This is about a half of a cup per serving, 14 grams of fiber, only 60 calories. Compared to 600, you see the change? Here's a huge mistake that I see people make in the carbohydrate world, and that is rice. We all know this little container from the Chinese restaurants. Little tiny container of brown rice. How many calories do you think are in here? About 500. And that's not pork stir-fried with the yolk and the oil. I'm talking steamed plain brown rice. Know your numbers, is my point. Always know that a serving of a carbohydrate is an ounce when it comes to bread, or sometimes it's a half cup, or it could go down to a third a cup the more nutritious the food is. Don't be fooled. Know your numbers so when you're reporting on your journal how much you're eating, you can't just say, I just had 1 little bagel this week. That's a 600 calorie splurge. One little tip that I see people make huge progress if you made no other change in your diet except this one is, what if you were to trade your morning bagel or muffin for a protein shake? You could lose almost all of your weight, hit your goal weight, and become leaner and live that way for the rest of your life. You get a 25% metabolic boost and you're saving probably 600 to 700 calories here. One other food group, my favorite or part of this food group, a complex carb, the popcorn. This is air popped. You can get 3 whole heaping cups of air pop popcorn instead of 1 little taste of potato chips. So instead of eating a bagel or any of this stuff, I'm not saying you can never eat a carb, I would prefer to replace it. I call this my emo meal. It's totally emotional. So keep the potato and give me the popcorn. Now we're going to talk about the low sugar fruits.